The Chicago Cubs finally made some major improvements to the roster, and they are back on track to take over the NL Central.
My job is to go out there, perform, put up numbers and try and win games to get to the playoffs more in World Series.
How's it going today, POV fam? Welcome back to Point of View. As always, we appreciate your comments and feedback like this one. Now to today's topic. Did the Cubs finally spend enough to reestablish themselves as the kings of the Central and as title contenders? I mean, if my Brewers have anything to say about it, maybe not. But I gotta hand it to them. They finally did what the fans have been asking for and brought in some premier talent to chase postseason glory once again. I'm not saying they had the perfect offseason, but plenty of additions moved the needle in my eyes, and of course, no one was a bigger acquisition than former Astro and World Series champion Kyle Tucker. Despite playing 78 games last season, Tucker earned his third straight All-Star selection and posted a .289 batting average and .993 OPS. He added 23 homers and 13 doubles, and that's exactly the type of bat the Cubs desperately need. In 2024, the team finished 20th in homers, 18th in doubles, and 20th in OPS. That'll never cut it in a loaded National League, and they realized it and addressed it perfectly with Tucker. While he may be only in Chicago for one season, his expectations are still as high as they were when he was with the Astros as perennial contenders. Here's what the lefty slugger had to say about that at his post-trade presser.
I know in Houston, as a team, our expectation has been, winning our division, getting to the playoffs, and winning World Series. And I do that at a more personal level as well. So I'm just going to continue that in Chicago, regardless of however many wins or what, place the team has been in the past. That's also in the past. This is a new year. We have a new opportunity. I mean, I think the mindset, regardless of what team you're on, should always be winning, going out there every single day and winning every single game. Like, I'm not going to show up just to go out there and play and lose. Like, if I'm going to show up, I might as well win. So that's kind of the mindset I take into every game, every single day, and try and kind of express that throughout the team as well. So that's kind of how the vibe in our clubhouse has been in Houston, and I'm hoping to try and replicate that the exact same way in Chicago. So I'm excited to just get after it with them.
The first step to getting back to your winning ways is having the mindset of a winner, and it sounds like that's exactly what Tucker is going to bring. He wasn't the only addition that'll make a big difference, however. The front office was really cooking and addressed needs from top to bottom. Before we get more into that, I just want to remind you that we drop POV episodes featuring the most interesting perspective on the sports world, mine, 3 times a week, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. I'm talking the stories you won't get anywhere else, so remember to join the discussion by dropping a comment and hitting that subscribe button right now, and ring the notification bell so you're always in the know. Now back to the rest of the Cubs' moves. They got guys like Ryan Presley, Eli Morgan, and Matthew Boyd to improve their pitching, and others like Justin Turner and Carson Kelly to improve their depth. That should go a long way toward highlighting the talent they retain, like Crow-Armstrong and Shota Imanaga, who should be even better than they were last season. And hopefully, maybe Counsell has learned some lessons from last year. Chicago is now the division favorites, but the Cubs manager isn't looking too far ahead. Here's what he had to say about the division title expectations.
I think those things are fun to talk about. You could talk about them all you want. I don't think it does any good to talk about them. That is our goal. That's clearly set out. So, those are our expectations. That's what we're going to try to do. The other stuff doesn't really matter.
For all the screw-ups Counsell had last year, at least he said the right thing there. He knows the expectations, but also understands what happens when you get ahead of yourself, and I don't think he's going to let that happen again. But even if he does a better job of managing, and batters produce more at the plate, and the additions all work out, I'm still not convinced they take over the division this season. While they did finally spend some money this offseason, they could have done more. Missing out on Alex Bregman was pretty huge in my eyes, considering Tucker is a likely one-year rental. And even if they're trying to save money for the deadline, they're in one of the biggest markets in the country and should act like it more. But hey, at least this does signal a bit of a shift that hopefully continues for the Cubs and their fans. Just seeing the effort to improve is an upgrade over the last few years. It's why they're back on track to be relevant in baseball again. I don't know if it'll be this year, but it's a good sign that better days are to come. On the other hand, it's hard to predict anyone getting past the LA Dodgers in the NL for a long time. But contrary to popular opinion, I don't think the Dodgers are ruining baseball. To find out who you should blame, check out this past episode of Point of View. And the moment you've been waiting for, here's the answer to today's trivia question. We appreciate you tuning in. We will see you on Thursday.